So I have drawn my line using a ruler. Always use a ruler to do straight lines. So the line is going to be on our right side, just so that you can see what I'm going to do. The first stitch we are going to do is a running stitch. And we start off by putting our needle through the thread at the beginning of the line. If you can try to do this without keep turning your thread over, you will be able to manage the position of your needle a lot better, and like most things, practice makes perfect. Okay, so pull your thread through, and we are just going to do a run of stitches that are even above and beyond. So I've done a stitch there, it's about 1 centimetre long, maybe 8 millimeters. And then you can see that I'm pushing my needle up a couple of times before I get it in the right place. Then when I've got it in the right place, I pull it through. Okay, and we are going to make a row of stitches, a run of stitches, which is why it's called running stitch. Okay, that are the same size but with the same gap in between. Okay, as you get a little bit more confident with this, you can actually push your needle down and up in the same stroke. Okay, obviously I've been sewing for years, so that's how I would do it. Okay, so we go down and then tip the needle up so it comes through the hole with the thread. Okay, and then you can see I've finished my line there. I'm going to put it through the back and turn it over. And because our knot is on this side at the beginning, our knot needs to be on this side at the end. And we do exactly the same. I'm going to pull my thread out. I'm going to make a loop. I'm going to put the end through to make a knot. And this time I'm going to use the needle straight away. I'm going to hold the loop down with my needle right next to where it's come through the fabric, and you can see that the knot is pulling down and it's right near there. Okay, might need to do another one because our needle is quite big, so it does make quite big holes in the felt. Again, I'm going to hold the needle down, the loop down, sorry, so it goes over, and you can see that my knot is a little bit bigger. Then using my sharp scissors, I'm going to cut that off close to the knot. Okay, this piece of thread isn't really big enough to do anything else with stitches, but I'm just going to leave it to one side just in case. Okay, so that is your running stitch. Okay, this time we're going to do a curved running stitch, and I managed to find my black friction pen there for you. And you can see that I've done a curvy line. It's not great because it does actually pull at the fibres, so it does make it a little bit fluffy. I've got my other 3 strands of embroidery thread, so I'm going to thread my needle again. Now with a running stitch, because it is a straight line, you can make the stitches longer if you want to, and you can make the gaps smaller, and the other way around, gaps longer, stitches smaller. And it's quite good for, it's like drawing with stitching. Okay, so this one now I'm going to do a running stitch. I'm just going to do it on the line. So again, I'm working from one side. Practice doing this, girls, because what will happen is you'll get better the more you practice. This one I'm going to do quite long stitches and smaller gaps. Okay, don't put it too tight because you can see what happens when it goes too tight. It puckers the material. So try not to pull it too tight. Just want it to be nice and not too loose, because you don't want it to be floppy like that. You want it to be nice and flat against the fabric. Okay, so I'm going to do longer stitches with smaller gaps. And again, you can see that I'm just following the line. I don't pull it through until it's in the right place. So if you drew a curved line, you might want to try long stitches with small gaps, or small stitches with big gaps. Okay. Turn it over, and you can see that on my back, how the difference is that these ones on the back, you can see the curvy line, they're actually smaller. Okay. And just create my knot so that the fabric is nice and the thread is nice and secure. Okay, because the last thing we want to do, bit of quality control, is we don't want our stitches to be loose and floppy, and we don't want our threads to come out, because then we don't have a very good quality product. Okay, so just cutting off the other way. Okay, so we have straight running stitch, and now we have a curved running stitch.